Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're taking a look at the new, for me at least, Instax Mini 11. For the longest time I've seen the Mini 9 and I was actually looking to purchase a new instant camera. I'm a photographer. I love photography and filmmaking and everything, and a lot of the times I use this camera here, the Canon M6 Mark II with the 16mm 1.4 lens. It is one of my favorite cameras to use, but I recently got a Polaroid camera, and I got this, the 1-step 2, and I was like, this is cool. It prints out a nice big image, but it's a little bit big for me carrying around. There's no way to flatten it. I still would love this to be kind of like that old style that flattens down, or at least that's just not so plasticky. But for the size of image, I think that's going to be okay. But for me traveling around and needing something that could even fit in my pocket, these are just like athletic jeans, or no, sorry, athletic shorts, and it just fits right in there, and that's fine. Because one thing that I don't like, before we go into the specifics, it doesn't have a threaded mount for a tripod, and I actually use that for carrying my cameras around. But that's just a me thing. Let's talk about the camera itself. So you can see here, if you remember the Mini 9, this one is more rounded off than the other camera. Actually, I think I have another one. Hello, cats. So, don't have the Mini 9, but again, this is a Mini 8. You can see it's more squared off. It's more like, oh, you can choose the exposure, you have to do it yourself. This one, you do not have to do so. It should be intelligent enough to sense the environment around you and then just take that picture. But you can see this is the difference in, I actually haven't seen a Mini 8 in a long time. They moved the light sensors here from here. The button is here. You can actually put different little buttons on this. One's glow in the dark, one's like a jewel one. It's not my choice. Viewfinder's still here in the same place. This one has a selfie mirror like the Mini 9. This one does not have a selfie mirror. And yeah, pretty much the same. But this one here supposedly does a lot better with things in the background. If you take something with a dark exposure with the flash, your subject on the Mini 9 would be like in focus and you could see him, but the background would be all blacked and just you couldn't even see. So now what I'm going to do as we continue talking is I'm going to take a photo of my setup here, and I'm going to see how this turns out. So this, first, if you know anything about Polaroids, you're supposed to keep Polaroid film covered from the sun. This one, sun's on me right now, it doesn't matter. Polaroids take maybe about 15 minutes to finish developing. This takes about 90 seconds, so it's a lot quicker. I'm leaving this right in front of you so you can see this in real time as it develops. But look, this is how it looks when the camera is open. But then one thing that they call selfie mode is because if you take a picture just normally like this, it should be about maybe 2 feet away from your subject. But if you're doing a selfie or anything that has closer need to focus, it's going to be kind of blurry. But look, selfie mode, you just pull this out even more, and now it allows you to focus at a much closer distance. And I've been testing this out, and I can do it from about this, like just right here, and it just seems to work out fine. I've been happy with it. So that's good, because previously there was an adapter that you were supposed to put on this to actually be able to use this with the close focusing. I don't know how to close this without turning the camera off. Anyway, if you do that, the camera just turns itself off. And again, it's slim, something that I can put in a jacket pocket, and for me I can put it in my shorts pocket, but I don't care how it looks, so that's why you'd have something bulbous like this coming out of your pocket. But look, that's this developing. Can you focus on it? It's a little bit blown out because the sun is right behind us, and I looked right through the viewfinder here, and you have to realize when you look through here, you're not exactly going to get this. It's going to be shifted a little bit over. So you can see I was trying to take a straightforward picture and unfortunately did not get that straightforward on. Again, it's really hard to... just want to focus on the photo. So we're going to let this develop here a little bit, but you can see more, because I did not use selfie mode. The background is crisp and in focus, but the lens here is a little bit out of focus. So that's something that I could have easily improved by just doing that. So again, this is light. This does everything. I've tried this with low light. Let's see, where are my other photos? I have not really taken any kind of instant photography for my entire life, except for, if you remember, Polaroid had this iZone. They're tiny little instant camera things, but they don't make those anymore. So this is what I've been doing. So we're going to take a look at pictures, and we're going to see exactly what things look like. So I took all of these. This one had, this is like basic everyday. This came out a little bit dark, but the sun was like, and the sky was nicely exposed. Let's go to the next one. Now again, this is me just kind of learning how to do everything here. This one here, I think it came out pretty well. There's shadows here, but you can see Soho, everything is kind of like, it's, actually, is it in focus? It's not really in focus, but the exposure is right. And I think that's what I care about more or less, that the exposure is right. Because I kind of like that it's kind of out of focus. It gives it kind of this vintage look that I do like. This is a guy singing here, but I'm way too far away to get that, so I'm kind of getting everything here. And again, I'm still learning with the viewfinder, so I could have shifted it up and maybe gotten everything if I walked back a little bit, but I was against a wall, so I couldn't really go back any further. This was a close-up shot that I did not use the selfie mode for again, of a pigeon, so you can see, I think that guy is more in focus than the pigeon itself. And again, the flash on this will always turn on, so if you want to block that flash, you can by just covering it with your finger, but if you do, you have to realize that it is exposing, expecting a flash. So because you cannot choose your own exposure anymore, it's automatic. I don't know if that's going to work anymore. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be testing things out, blocking the flash and not blocking the flash, and we'll see exactly how things turn out. So this is by Central Park, by Columbus Circle. I don't know that person, but I just took this picture. You can see the sky is kind of blown out, unfortunately, but it's a good picture nonetheless. Oh, and that's not like a damage. That's a guy, that's a construction worker with a yellow hat and yellow shirt. First, I thought that was kind of damaged. Again, kind of blown out and overexposed here at the top, but you get the detail down here. So it's not going to be like an HDR photo. And of course, with me, I'm not into the whole artsy kind of thing. I want everything to be crisp and clear. So with this, I'm pushing my boundaries and embracing that kind of artsy, blurry or out of focus look, which, yeah. This is in Central Park here by the fountain. I don't remember the name. It's nice. This is in focus. That's kind of blurry out there. I did not use selfie mode again. This one is my favorite angle in Central Park. That's the lake, and that's the house, or the penthouse that Tommy Hilfiger lives in, and the Apple store would be right over there. It's beautiful, and in the snow it's even more beautiful. And for this one, I actually thought that the viewfinder was getting right here, so in fact you're getting a larger view than the viewfinder will show you. That's something that I'm learning about. A nice point of view, a little bit dark here, can't see anything, and a little bit blown out on the bridge. And this is my hand. This is the first and only one that I took with selfie mode, so you can see, okay, the background is really blacked out because I did just kind of go like this and it flashed on my hand, so I can understand why it really, you can't see anything in the back because the whole room was dark. I was just literally in bed shooting like this. So this may be a bad representation of what I was talking about earlier, that the background isn't all black in the new images here on the 11 rather than the 9, but I literally did this and flashed it. But you can see that there is more detail on my hand because it was able to closely focus. Now this is me watching something on my iPad on my legs, and the flash kind of filled everything. The background, you can still see that there's something there, but you can definitely see the focus is right here where the flash really got my legs and the iPad and my shorts rather than the background here, but at least it's not pitch black. Next here, that's a cat, and that's an outside, and that's dark, so there's no light outside. That's why it does look dark, because it is dark. And then this is something I was just trying out. I believe I blocked the flash on this one, but for some reason it did not get any of the detail of the building, but it got the detail of the sky, and I would have preferred the detail in the building, but I did not get that. And I'm still trying to figure out how to actually make these changes so it can actually get that detail. I did use the flash here. A lot of it's blurry down there, but I did get more detail than I did receive before, considering I can still see the sky, but I did get more detail here that I wanted. Now for this one here, again, I wish I got more detail down here than the sky, but I did get some detail. There's traffic and there is a building. And I shot this from the balcony. So now this was movement, so I'm curious to see how the shutter speed got it. This was kind of like one of those biker protests or march going through the city, and you can see they're going down here, and they were moving pretty quickly, so no blur whatsoever, and it got everything nice and crisp. I mean, as crisp as that can be. Now here I was standing still, so I was kind of getting really close on the city bike that I was renting and this construction sign, which is key on First Avenue. It looks really nice. And the detail, and I think everything was almost perfect, except this is just a little bit overexposed. Now here is where I went with a friend to a park, and that's her walking around, and it really looks artsy. I'm really happy how this turned out. There could have been a little bit more detail, but I think this looks beautiful. It's kind of just like a girl lost in a garden. That's me. I had her take a photo of me. That's my favorite big tree in the garden, and then there's me all the way at the bottom. So again, you can't get a ton of detail out of these photos, but I think this is really, really cool, considering it's something that you can give somebody, and I'm very happy with that, because you know, you take a picture on here, you have to import this to your phone and do whatever you need to do to get that ready, and even if you take this on your iPhone or on your Android phone or any phone, you have to kind of transfer it over. There's nothing physical to hold, so for me, it's very interesting to have something, because I haven't been able to do that in years, since the 90s. So that's her. There's a little bit of blur, and it didn't get her properly in focus, and I was pretty far away. I'm not sure why this happened, but this is literally the third picture ever that I took on here. We're going back in time. Again, here is the same friend walking around in the garden. It's a little bit blown out here, but we get nice detail where it counts. And then the first picture I took with this camera was this. And for me, it looks like those plants are blurry. Maybe I moved too quickly while the flash was going, but I always made sure with the Polaroid to take the picture and then kind of stay. So I'm not sure why this came out blurry. So those are all the pictures that I took. And now we finish with the hopefully more developed photo that we just took here with you. Where is it doing it? I'm trying to get this here. And that's it. It does get like a nice cool look to it. I think it looks great. Again, you can see the camera and the tripod are less in focus in the back because I did not use selfie mode, and that's just something I have to learn. But I'm a fan of this. This is the Instax Mini 11. I did get this on sale for $59.99. The original price is $69.99, which I think is still pretty good too. Sorry, this camera just overheated, so it kind of cut things off. But again, this is the Mini Instax 11. I got this for $59.99 on sale, where originally it goes for $69.99. Both prices not too bad, $60 or $70. The film can go for a wide range of prices, so make sure you get them not too expensive. I think the best deal that I found was 60 exposures for $35, which makes it, I don't know, that's just, it's under $1. It's about 60 something cents, 70 cents an exposure, which I think is good. I just like keeping these now. I'm very happy with the quality that came out of this camera, and I'm going to be continuing to use this here as a secondary option after maybe doing a professional photo shoots with this camera, the M6, the one that just overheated itself, and then maybe just doing an additional snap-on here and giving this to the model or company that I work with, just for them to have something as a keepsake for the time we work together. But guys, if you have any questions, put that in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram at m8b9. You can email me at matt8b9@gmail.com. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.